So in this video, we're going to be looking at timers, progress bars, and counters. So let's start off by looking at these timer bars and progress bars. As we see here, we have two different styles of timer bars. We have the ability to actually have a bar that goes along the entire edge of our slider, as well as this animated ring. And then our progress bars are basically styled similar to our timer bars, but the size of that is basically progresses along with the progression of your slider. So we actually get the progress that we are within our overall slider timeline. So adding these are super simple. They're all within the child menu of MovingBox. You can go ahead and add our counters or progress bars. So let's have a look at the timer bar. Here we have the ability to customize the color. So the back color, as well as the background color, as well as the foreground color, the size of that timer bar. So how tall or wide is it? And then your location. You can have it on the left or right side if you want it to actually fill the entire side. So if we want to kind of picture what that looks like, let's go ahead and do right. Here we see if we set the position to be right, the progress bar is actually on the right side. And we can actually also say where to start from. So instead of starting from the bottom, we can actually start from the center. You'll notice when we start from the center of this slide, it actually kind of grows up. So it's very interesting. The ring timer has very similar configurations where we have a color as well as the size of the circle, as well as the thickness of the stroke. And then we can kind of place this anywhere we want within the four corners. So do we want it the top, bottom, left, right? With these buttons. Now, the progress bar pretty much it has the same exact settings as the timer bar, just the underlying functionality is different. Now, remember, if you haven't watched the styles video that we have on MovingBox, you can actually use the swatch colors to actually customize the colors of the progress bars, timers, as well as captions. Now, the last thing in this video we're going to cover is the counter stack. And essentially what this does is it gives you like a counter. So slide 1 of 4 or so on and so forth on your particular slides. So if we preview this, you'll see that I have 1 of 4. And in the settings for this stack is really simple. We have the color as well as the text size, and then the position that you'd want to position this. Now, you're not stuck with the verbiage 1 of 4. Because if we double click this, you'll see that this is just some HTML. So if you just want to have a stack, so if you want to, customize basically the language here, if you're, of is not your language, you can customize this to be Spanish or German or Italian or whatever language you see fit. Now, however, you will also notice that these just have a bunch of classes. So if you don't necessarily need to use this stack, you can actually use whatever stack you want. As long as you put in the MB slide index class, that whatever you put that class on will actually get updated with the current index count. And then if you have MB slide count class, whatever that will automatically be converted to be the actual slide count. Let's see this in action. So here we have an example where I just added 2 header stacks in here. And all I did is added the classes that I talked about earlier. We have MB slide index and MB slide count. I added in some words in here just to show you that this data will actually get replaced with the current data dynamically from MovingBox. And there you have it. We have the slide index as well as the slide count. Now, if I go ahead and change slides, you'll see that the actual index number changed. Now, the total count is never going to change because our number of slides aren't dynamic, right? But as we change the slides, you'll see that these actual index count will dynamically be displayed. But what I would recommend is instead of starting with some random number, actually put in, the actual starting value of the first slide. So 1 of 4 or something of that nature. Now, if you are curious of other classes available to you within MovingBox, there is a MovingBox class reference that then you can leverage for all kinds of cool stuff, from swatches to your own CSS to other great things.